Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining my expert talk track today. We're nearing the end of an incredible day one here at ClioCon on this very beautiful Thursday, or as I like to call it, Friday Junior. You could have been anywhere in the conference, but you're here with me today, and for that, I thank you. Big shout outs to our sponsors for this year's event. We couldn't have hosted one without you, without all these sponsors. My name is Dominic Impolito. I am a senior account manager here at Clio, and this is my very first ClioCon. Yeah, make some noise if this is your first ClioCon as well. Woo! Okay. Welcome to the first timers. Returning guests, welcome back. A lot of the guests that I helped check in today, I was guessing how many ClioCons they've been to. I would say the average is about 3. So first timers, I'm sure I'll see you again in the following years. So just a little bit of information about myself. I come from a sales background. My sales career started at a very, very young age, back in high school of about 12, 13 years old, where I was selling mixtapes and pirated DVDs to all my friends at school, okay? I would actually buy like some of the best discs as possible. I would look into it and make sure that my customers were getting the best high quality products. In high school, I worked at the Nike store, so a little bit of retail sales. I basically look sponsored when I go to the gym or do any sort of physical activity, but what you might not know is that I am a former sneakerhead, lots of Jordans, but what I would do is I would learn all of the ins and outs of all the shoes, and people would come back just to shop with me based on the knowledge I had about those sneakers. And then I started my tech sales career in 2016, selling all different types of softwares, and Clio is the 4th company that I've worked for now. But I started at Clio in January of 2020, 2.5 months right before the pandemic. Can't believe it's already been over 5 years since that pandemic started. And I was actually selling Clio Grow in my first entire year. Since then, I've become an expert in Clio Manage and Clio Grow. And I've helped customers upgrade their accounts, add licenses, and I've even prevented customers from canceling their account. So more than that, I would even tell customers that it's not a good idea to upgrade, or maybe it's not a good idea to add a license. So today, I am helping customers get the most out of their Clio subscription by being an in-house Clio advisor. Now, my personal sales principle is that I can't sell a product that I don't believe in. And Clio is definitely one of those products that I certainly believe in, Clio Grow specifically. So where am I going with all this? I want you to know that I'm very confident in my knowledge about Clio Manage and Clio Grow. I know their capabilities and their limitations. And because I know these things, you can bet that I am a very straight shooter when it comes to telling you whether it's a good idea or not, or whether it's going to be a good fit or not. If it's not a good fit, I'll be the first to tell you, I promise that. And what I really enjoyed about being able to speak today was that I came up with my entire talk track. So I stand by everything that I'm about to present to you today. And I don't normally get reviews in my role at Clio, but Elizabeth Urban was an absolute gem to submit this and share this with me and the rest of the team. So I really hope by the end of today or throughout today, you'll have the same level of confidence that Elizabeth had with me. But enough about me. You're not here to learn about me. I'm here to talk about expert Clio Grow functions to help automate your intake process. So you're here because maybe you're looking to maximize your usage of Clio Grow. You've got the basics locked down, like the quick intake form button, how to use a form and document. And maybe you're looking to automate parts of your intake process because you're experiencing an increased volume of leads, perhaps. Or maybe you're trying to grow your business by making it convenient for potential clients to get in touch with your firm. Now, I know Clio Grow isn't for everybody. I'm not here to convince you to cancel your DocuSign or your Calendly subscription. I'm not here to I'm not here to convince you to potentially purchase Clio Grow if you don't have it yet, but I just might. I just might. But by the end of today's session, you'll increase your understanding of Clio Grow by learning or rediscovering effective methods of automating your intake with features and functions already available to you. You'll understand your own personal time savings of potentially implementing some of these automation features. And by time savings, I also mean response time. So how fast can you get back to a client and following up with them? And then lastly, hopefully you'll get some inspiration of ways to create a real great client experience. This is our agenda for today. 4 short and sweet sections. We'll go over some Grow AI stuff that was announced in Jack's keynote this morning. We'll go over some fundamentals of Clio Grow, so what you should already know and perhaps have set up. And then we'll spend majority of our time in the expert automation section. So I'll be going over what the current state is, how it's done in Clio Grow, and provide some real life examples. And then lastly, I'm going to open it up the floor to ask for some volunteers to share their experiences or your experiences with some of the automation features. One last thing is to keep your cell phones handy. There's going to be some QR codes showing up on the screen that you can keep as examples after today. And if I start to bore you, then you can surf the web because you never know. All right, so sneak peek into Grow AI. As announced in Jack's keynote, we're super happy to announce the future release of Grow AI. And some of the few features that are coming out, one of which is the AI-powered chat that can be embedded on your website. So this allows you to swiftly capture leads through this AI chat, and it enables you to respond faster. Real benefit from that, no missed opportunities, right? And you engage with your potential client immediately. So more than that, it does move the process forward while you get to focus on high urgency work or even while you're sleeping. The next one is automated lead screening. So Clio Grow's AI will be able to analyze the fit of potential clients, really eliminating any unnecessary bookings on your calendar, and also automates the conflict checks. So obviously, the benefit of this enables your firm to make faster business decisions. And with Clio Grow's smart follow-ups, this really just enables you to stay on top of leads that are potentially going cold. We have nice little graphics there to let you know if things are in that state and gives you the opportunity to follow up in a timely manner. All right, so Clio Grow fundamentals. We're going to go over some basic and intermediate functions that you might be familiar with. So with Clio Grow basic fundamentals, you should know how to create a new matter and contact through the quick intake button. Hopefully you know how to sync your custom fields from Clio Manage to Clio Grow. And really hope that your calendar is synced to Clio in general, because that's going to be a big game changer as well. And then lastly, you might have intake forms and document templates created along with being able to send them. These intermediate functions, I'll touch on them throughout the presentation, but this is an expert session, so let's just dive right into what you came here for. All right, I'm going to start this section off by reading this quote. Clio Grow is all about making it easy for potential clients to connect with you and making a great first impression. The team here quoted me on this. I can't take all the credit here. I'll give it up to Google Gemini for helping me out with this one. So not only is Clio Grow meant to make your life easier, it really is meant to make your potential client or leads' lives easier as well to get in touch with you. And one thing you got to remember is that you operate in the business of providing a service and an experience. And frankly, it's just human nature for people to want to do business with people that they like. These are the 7 expert automated features that I'll be going over. No need to memorize them. There's going to be a halfway check-in. So let's jump right in with Clio Grow Scheduler. Raise your hand if you live and breathe inside of your calendar. Okay, that's what I was expecting. And I'm the exact same way. I have a personal rule here. If it's not in the calendar, it doesn't count. Again, the team couldn't find anybody that's ever quoted this, so they put my name there. So feel free to quote me this, if ever at all you got invited to a dinner or something, and they say, "Honey, we had dinner with the in-laws." It's not in the calendar, it doesn't count, right? But how are firms doing it today? If you're using the Clio Grow calendar, or sorry, the Clio Manage calendar, great, you're off to a good start. Now, you're most likely using Outlook or Gmail calendar, but what I've noticed is that a lot of firms don't even have that synced to Clio at all. So that's step number one. This is an expert session, so I'm really hoping everyone in here has their calendar synced. If not, come see us in the Success Center. We can get you sorted. But with that, you would need to basically book appointments straight into Outlook or Gmail. Or you might be using a third-party software like Calendly, right? Not to put Calendly down. I actually really like Calendly as a product. I wish our calendaring system was more like them. But sometimes that's just the nature of the game, right? But however you manage your calendar, if it's not in Clio, that just really means you're switching back and forth between other softwares. With Clio Grow Scheduler, there is a few different ways in which you can book a meeting, right? So you can book it directly into Clio itself. And because they have that bi-directional sync with Outlook and Gmail, it should all appear across any platform, right? Or you can send that booking link through an email. But all of this eliminates the need to navigate away from Clio, and it also eliminates double bookings. But today, I really want to focus on the firm booking page. The firm booking page allows your potential clients to book with your firm at their convenience. All right, so quick story time. Let's say our friend here, Joe, it's 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon in the middle of brunch with his family, and they just discovered that they need a lawyer. So he's on his phone, he's Google searching for firms in his area, and he comes across your website. He sees that there's a number that he can call. But remember, it's a Sunday, and the office is closed. My running joke is that attorneys don't have weekends. There's no such thing as a weekend for attorneys or firm members. But as it goes, you're probably still working, right? So what are Joe's options? He can either wait 24 hours or Monday morning for you to call. He can leave a voicemail with too much or too little information, or he's finding another firm. Now, with Clio Grow's firm booking page, we can picture Joe navigating to your website, and this time he notices a little schedule a consultation button on your website. He navigates there, he finds the appropriate date and time that he wants, and boom, he is able to book something on your calendar, and he feels just a little bit better knowing something is coming up and something is on your calendar. So for the firm, your benefits is that information automatically gets uploaded into Clio Grow for you, and it's ready for you to review and action the next time you're logging in. Some of the major use cases, obviously your website, but what a lot of firms don't realize is you can use this for your social media as well. LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, if any firms are doing that. And then what you'll notice with the example that I have here is that I've labeled it by practice area, meeting time length, and there's also a division of the different attorneys that I could potentially book with. Once a meeting is scheduled in Clio Grow with the scheduler tool, there is also automated reminders that go out. So for best practices, a 24-hour and a 1-hour reminder goes a long way. And if you do have text messaging set up, that message will also go out, and this will drastically reduce the no-show rates that you have. So This is one thing that you can even create right now. I see a lot of laptops out, so feel free to double check that you have something like this set up. But again, yeah, this is something that you're going to need to create yourself. Moving on to intake forms or forms in general. So you might be already familiar with this, but we're going to take it up a notch in a couple of ways. All right. So raise your hand if you have a contact us form just like this on your website. Okay. Yeah, majority of you. That's what I was expecting. Really good to see, but it's likely coming in as an email. And there is some sort of reactive approach to this where you have to wait, find that email, and then manually follow up. In addition to that, just manual entry of information into Clio itself. And then there's nothing automatic about this, right? So with Clio Grow's public intake forms, this can completely replace your embedded form on your website. So for clients, they can get in touch with your firm at their convenience at any time. And for you, you get to capture more information than just the basic contact us form that you most have. This also automatically creates a new matter and a new contact for you right in Clio Grow. So what that means, you can wake up the next morning and find some new leads right in your pipeline. And that obviously allows you to pre-screen the client before anything gets scheduled on your calendar. So these public forms, they don't need to be complicated or lengthy, right? Just a few simple questions. So what services are you looking for? Can you share more details? And how did you hear about us, right? So similarly to the firm booking page, this can be used for your website and your social media. All right, another story time here. So we got Steve. Steve is scrolling at 6 a.m. in the morning. He's been up all night, broken sleep, just thinking about a potential case or a problem that he's got going on that will need a lawyer. And he just came across a video, I guess you should say. He just watched a video about a legal matter he's experiencing that you posted, and he's influenced to go check out your profile. And on your profile, he notices a Clio public form. Steve goes on there, answers a few questions, submits it, and he does this all from the comfort of his own bed before his first sip of coffee. And he gets to start his day just a little bit less stressed, knowing that the ball is rolling on this matter. Now for you, you log in the next morning, you see Steve's completed form. That gives you a quick opportunity to review the answers that he's provided. If it looks good, we can then follow up and get something scheduled. And this is all done before, 9 a.m. But we all know that attorneys are already working by like 5 or 6, maybe. I don't know, that's what I know. And for you, again, it just allows you to respond as quickly as possible. Okay, so a bonus pro tip. You might have noticed these QR codes that I've already been posting with the little T-Rex there. These QR codes were generated free by Google Chrome, meaning you can create a QR code from any website. And if you scan the QR code on the screen right now, it basically takes you to the how to do this on Google Chrome. So I got to give a shout out to one of my clients, Ann Robinson from the Lammers Law Group, who recently used this method at an open house of theirs and found much success in gathering leads and gathering a good guest list of people who came through. Moving on to advanced intake forms. So how are things being done right now? Probably through a PDF, manual pen and paper, or another software service. But the result of this is that you're forced to manually duplicate that information into Clio. That's time that could have been spent on billable work or much more important work or catching up on sleep, right? But with this method, it's prone to human errors like misspelling or incomplete info. And with Clio Grow's advanced intake forms, basically we can capture all of that information and have it populate directly into Clio. So we all know what custom fields are, right? Okay, now those custom fields, raise your hand if you have those custom fields created in Clio Manage. Okay, I'd love to see this. Now, keep your hands up if you have those custom fields synced to Clio Grow. Okay, good handful. This is what I like to see, but I still see hands down. So that just means that this is something new for you, and hopefully we can start implementing this in the next little bit here. But Clio Grow's advanced intake forms allows you to sync those custom fields directly into the questionnaire forms. And it's a two-step process. One, you got to sync those fields from Manage to Grow. And then two, we got to sync those fields into the questions themselves. So if you're not too familiar with it, we're going to show you quickly how to do that right now. So this is how we're going to sync custom fields from Clio Manage to Grow. So navigating to the settings, you're going to scroll down to custom fields. And right at the top, there's that nice blue button that says Sync Clio Manage Custom Fields. Most of the time, you only need to do this once, but by best practice, if at any time you create more custom fields in Clio Manage, quickly just go into Clio Grow and sync them right away. Get it out of the way early. And what's great about it is that once it's done, you'll know that it's synced properly once you see the Clio logo beside the custom field. So that will be a good indication that any information entered there will seamlessly transfer over into Clio Manage. Next, this video is going to show you how to sync those custom fields to those questionnaire forms. So let's do this together. We're going to find the questionnaire form that we want. We're going to go ahead and select Edit. We'll scroll down to the question that we would like to add a custom field to. And I think in this video, I actually choose a custom field area where it's already something in there. But basically what I wanted to highlight was the Sync Custom Field button that comes along in the question settings. So right at the top left corner, it'll open up a new window there. And you'll notice that button, Connect to a Custom Field. And then from there, you'll be able to select whether it's a contact or a matter custom field, and then go from there. So again, if any answer that is completed or entered in these questions that have a custom field synced, it can automatically be populated into Clio Manage, or into Clio Grow, or just Clio in general, sorry. Now, from there, why is this valuable? Well, for a couple of reasons. One, it reduces that manual entry into Clio. So as mentioned, once the form is completed, all the answers will immediately be saved into Clio. And obviously eliminates that manual hard copy forms or other digital forms that you might have with another third party. Secondly, it enables further automation with the documents. So basically, any of the data that's collected through those forms can then be used to generate documents with those unique information. All right, another story time. So Sarah navigates your website and she completes a public intake form. Now the ball is in your court. You call them up, you book that meeting, and at the time of the consult, you use one of these forms as a method in gathering information. So a couple of use cases, like I mentioned, during a consultation, use it as a way to navigate the conversation and really make sure you get all the answers that you need to make sure to allow you to do your work properly. Other ones are sending it before or after that consultation. And if you do have text messaging set up, you will also have the option to send it through that way, just gaining more visibility, as well as allows you to potentially get those forms and docs completed much quicker. Okay, halfway there. That was fast. But let's get some noise going in the room. All right. I always found that clapping gets the snoozers back awake, so Hopefully, I haven't gotten anyone there yet. So far, we've covered the first three here: Clio Scheduler, public intake forms, advanced intake forms, and then we're going to get into the next couple ones here. So let's keep the momentum going with document templates. All right. So I'm going to start this section off by really emphasizing that the document drafting process in Clio Grow is top tier, especially for engagement agreements. And those who don't know about it, you're probably using Clio Manage, which is good, but there's a better way, I promise you. Or what's most commonly happening is you have something saved in as a Microsoft Word template. You're having to open that up, make those changes manually, turn it into a PDF, and then you're probably sending it off through Clio Manage eSign or DocuSign or something like that. But again, the downside to all of that is that there's still some level of manual steps that need to be taken in order to complete that entire process. When it comes to document automation in Clio Grow, you can draft and send documents right within Grow itself, really eliminating the need to navigate away from Clio. The responses from the forms, you can use those to populate into documents. So you'll notice here that the green highlights are some of the firm information, yellow is any client information, orange is matter information, and then blue are the signature fields. So these are all already inputted in there for you, easy peasy. So when it comes to sending those documents, I'll go ahead and use one of my templates here, but imagine this. You just got off a call with somebody and they're ready to sign that engagement letter. And instead of opening a Word document and going through that manual process, you're doing everything in Clio Grow. So similarly to the forms, documents can also be sent through text message if you have that set up, creating greater visibility into the document itself. And we've also seen the increased chances of getting that engagement letter signed either same day or within 24 hours. But as you noticed in this video, I had that last minute opportunity to make any changes to the body of the document. This allows me to make any changes to the e-sign functions of the document. So if I needed additional signatures or initials anywhere, I can do that now. But typically I can blow past this part just because I already have those signature fields already in there. And now you can either send that through email, or if you have them live in your office, then you can have them sign the document immediately. So with document automation or Clio Grow's documents, you create the template once and it's ready to be used over and over and over again. And every document that goes out really ensures that it's accurate and consistent. And once it's signed, it automatically gets re-uploaded back into Clio. So you don't have to hunt it down. You don't have to wait for them to reply. You don't have to download it and re-upload it. Once it's signed, it gets back into Clio. Moving on to email templates. So email templates, or emails just in general, most of the time are manually written, or you might have some Outlook, Gmail email templates that you already have handy, but you probably don't have a template for everything. With Clio Grow's email templates, you have all your bases covered. And really, this just allows your firm to automate your communication and make sure everything is consistent. So some of the major use cases here are for your appointments, your forms and docs, and some general ones there. So again, benefits are the consistent messaging, reduces that manual effort, and ensures that timely follow-up. So if you ever find yourself writing an email over and over and over again, turn it into an email template. Moving on to email marketing. So in today's competitive legal market, building and maintaining relationships is more important than ever. Firms right now could be using things like MailChimp or other email marketing softwares. And maybe sometimes firms don't have any sort of marketing initiative at all, or there's no one in the firm that has that marketing expertise. But with email marketing, you become an expert overnight. So really, this holds the power of targeted communication. For firms, you get to nurture those leads, you can engage clients further, and drive business to your firm. Some major use cases, as you see on the screen, is you can invite someone to leave a review. But with the new AI stuff released this or announced this morning, we're going to have a different method of asking for reviews. But some other common use cases, monthly newsletters, some reminders, and even birthday notes. So as mentioned, there is also the metrics or reporting side of things. It does track your open rates, the click rates, and how a campaign translates into new business for your firm. So really, this tells you what's working and what's not working so that you can make the best business decision to move the firm forward. Last but not least, we have automated workflows. I know this looks complicated, but this is a visual of a complete end-to-end intake process broken up into two parts, okay? So firms can set up a sequence of actions that are triggered automatically based on the completion of the last step. Any of the blue boxes that you see on the screen right now is an automation that Clio Grow is doing for you. So everything from sending an email, sending an intake form, a booking link, creating a task for you, and updating the status and the stage. And you're left with just a handful of tasks which are outlined in the orange circles. So what does that mean for the firm? It really ensures consistency and a timely follow-up. Really prevents leads from falling through the cracks, and yours doesn't need to look like this or as complicated. You can have multiple automated workflows. Anything in the yellow boxes or the yellow squares are essentially the start of an automated workflow, and you can create one for the different parts of it of your intake workflow from beginning to end. So by Clio best practice, we advise that you create one for pre-consultation and a post-consultation. So everything from they decide to move forward, or they didn't work out and they didn't end up hiring you. And there's a few other options there like rejection, or we referred them out to a different law firm, or they just simply weren't interested. So here's a closer look at the pre-consult workflow. In a few moments, we're going to build one out together. But you'll notice at the end of this workflow, there is the red triangle, which is the decision to move forward or not. And once we get a decision, that's when we can apply the second workflow that we have. So move them to a post-consult workflow, which is all in the yellow squares again, and a few different options there. So this should be available in the ClioCon app, but if not, come see us in the Success Center, and I'll be sure to get our team to forward this along to you. Okay, so how do we create one? We're going to create the automated workflow for the pre-consultation. So we navigate to settings, we go to automated workflows, we select new template, and we give you a few templates to start off with, but if you are like me and you like to build your own pizza, we also have that create my own workflow option as well. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. We'll continue, and you'll notice all the actions that that are available to you. I think I remember recording this thing at like 7 a.m. with one of my content teams, so you'll notice the indecisiveness that I have in trying to even just get a title going. But what you'll notice is that you can practically do everything except for sending documents. And we purposely did that because we found that engagement agreements are typically needing to be edited in some form or fashion before firing that off. And obviously you don't want engagement agreements or any other documents going out without your permission. But as we build this out, first things first, when I trigger this, I want Clio Grow to send an automated intake form. So I can choose the template that I want. There's some email messaging that goes along with it. The next step, I'm going to want to update that matter status to intake form completed. So we'll do that. You'll notice here there I have a whole bunch of different statuses there. So I'm going to find the one where it says intake form completed. Next step, once they do complete that intake form, I'm going to create a task for myself to review that information and really just make sure that they are a good fit for us. So here's the task. Review the intake form. I can select myself or any of my other staff members to do this, so it doesn't have to be you before moving on to that next step. There's a couple of due date reminders in which that task you can set based on when you trigger that automation. And if it does look good, I can tick off the task and have a booking link. Oh, we're going to change the matter status to pending consult booking, because the next step should be sending out that booking link. So you'll notice there I have the different appointment types. So again, you can create automated workflows for your various practice areas and have the appropriate appointment types to go along with it, as well as the appropriate intake forms. So just another matter status change here. Consult scheduled. And then last but not least, I create a task for myself just to tick off whether the consult was completed or not. And that should be it. Oh, one more matter status change. Oh, okay. So once we check that off, consult is completed, then I'm choosing the consult completed status, and that's pretty much it. I can go ahead and publish it or save it as a draft if I want to work on it more. But all in all, creating this took me less than 5 minutes. Okay, so what this is going to do in the long run, though, it's going to save me hours, hours in a week, hours in the month, but it does add up once we create this automated workflow. Okay, now I want to open it up to the floor. We want to hear from you. I have my colleague Zobair here with the microphone. And I have a couple of questions out here. So how do you use Clio Grow's automation features? Or maybe what's your biggest takeaway from today? Or you can just ask a general question. Yeah, please go ahead.
I just had a question. Can you trigger an automated workflow from the responses from a public form?
It's a really good question. I'm glad this thing's being recorded because this is something I can share back with our product team, but no, the quick answer is no. If I'm understanding your question correctly, if somebody completes like a public intake form or they submit a calendar booking, can it automatically trigger a flow to be applied? Not at this time, and the reason why we do this is because there still needs to be that human application of the correct workflow that you want to put. But in my mind, in my experience working in tech, how I could see this playing out is if they submit or complete, so if they complete a certain form, or if they book in a certain meeting type, it could then trigger a workflow automatically and then go through that way. Okay, I kind of like that idea. So,
or even triggered by the actual responses to it. So if if there was a certain response, then it would trigger that particular flow.
Are you referring to like a particular response in the questionnaire form? No, it wouldn't. I would say that creating something like that would be super complicated because you would need to then isolate that very singular question, and then have it trigger somehow. And I really just can't wrap my head around that working. Yeah. I got a couple of questions up here. Oh, oh, sorry. We got a mic coming. Sorry, that. And you can answer. Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
We're actually using Lawmatics, who integrates with Clio. And the reason that we haven't switched to Clio Grow, we've got it, but it seems like it doesn't give you as much flexibility and as much control. Like we do drip campaigns based upon the leads that come in, and I don't see any place to do it in Grow. And there's conditional logic in the forms in Lawmatics, and I don't see that in Clio Grow. So is it something I'm not seeing, or is Clio Grow going? Is this the starting point and you're working toward that? Because I would love to have something totally integrated.
Absolutely. So conditional logic and questionnaire forms is a direction and something that we've heard multiple times. Now, when you say drip campaign, are you also referring to the marketing side of things? Yeah. So with the recent release of the marketing, email marketing campaigns that we have in Grow, that is definitely another direction that we're moving towards, where we can have more multiple emails that go out. Because right now, the email marketing for Clio Grow is one singular email for a particular list. But if I'm understanding your ask, it's one email goes out, and then over time, depending on the time frame. Yeah, really good questions. I love where your head's at. Certainly a direction we're moving, but no guaranteed release date for those. Yeah, thanks for your question.
I guess my question is, with the public intake form and the firm booking page, how much spam gets allocated into that? Because
Yeah.
I mean, you get those Russian bots that come in, and
Yeah.
I don't want my whole calendar for the entire year to be filled up with random nonsense that isn't real.
Completely understandable. I think what we have in beta, and I don't think I can really, well, whatever. Basically there's the CAPTCHA, right? Like allowing you to select images, or you have to move something over. But that is feedback we've had before about, bots or spam bookings and so on. So yeah, the CAPTCHA method or a verification method that you're not a bot is in the plans as well. Yeah, a couple questions up here.
So we send out one of the forms for our clients or our potential clients to fill out prior to coming in for the meeting. And one of the things that we are experiencing is when they fill out information, it's obviously being synced to Clio Manage. Do you have a way? We have, for example, people will put in addresses and they'll put them in all caps. Well, then when it goes to drafting things, it's in all caps, and we have to go back and we have to change it.
Okay.
Do you have a way of I have gone in and started putting very, very specific instructions. Only put your 10-digit phone number. Please put it in lower and uppercase, and all of that. But is there something that you guys have that helps to eliminate that transfer of weirdness?
No, absolutely. Not at this time. I don't think that's anything on the roadmap for that. But it's a very interesting one that is surely I'll be sure to submit something for this. Yeah.
So yeah, just a quick response to that, just a quick fix in the meantime is you can just pop that into Duo or Manage AI now and just say hey, can you take this and transition it to regular
Lowercase
letters instead of all uppercase, or it's hey, put this phone number to format that I can actually use or whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do it yourself.
Yeah, so I guess follow-up question to that is those documents that you need, and maybe we can get the mic back over here. The documents that you need generated, with those all caps and stuff, is that post engagement signed, or like including engagement side through to post?
No, it's after they've engaged.
Okay.
So I mean, right now I'm going in and I'm just correcting all of them.
Yeah.
And I thought if there's an automated way to do that, like,
Yeah.
that would be
No,
great for me.
that's really good feedback. At this time, definitely not. But yeah. No, it's definitely worth just like even thinking upon further. Like, if anything is answered in all caps, just immediately lowercase them type of thing. Yeah. No, I'm gonna share that for sure. Yeah, we got time for a couple more questions, please.
Thanks. So one question is Grow mobile app. Is that happening?
Yes. Okay. Not anytime soon, I should say. Okay. I work very closely with our product team. I was looped into a meeting where they were like, "We're thinking about a mobile thing. Can you give us feedback?" So I'm basically going to share this recording with them and be like, "Guys, live questions. Do you have a follow up to that?" Oh, so before you.
I would just second that 100%.
Okay.
Because I found myself in situations where I'm on the go and I
Yes.
had to log in on the web on my phone, which is fine, but it'd be so much easier if you had an app.
Yes. Okay. I love this. I love the clapping. Yes. Okay. So that was one of the reasons why I shared the Chrome QR code pro tip is because I guess I failed to mention that the QR code is really helpful when you're intaking on the go. That QR code is something that you can print on your business cards. If you have an iPhone, I've recommended one firm to save it as a background so that when they're at networking events, all they have to do is change the background to the QR code and be like, yeah, here, scan it. It goes directly to your quick intake form or a public booking page. For my client, for the open house, it was just a simple printed sheet of paper at the entrance, and people just scanned it from there. So yeah, the QR code right now is my best recommendation in terms of intaking on the go. But really good question. I love that.
You've spoken about e-sign document templates. How would you suggest drafting a conflict waiver for e-sign using automation or custom fields?
Yeah, conflict waiver. Now, excuse my, lack of knowledge around that, but like what kind of information would be required on there?
Conflicts check would need to be run, which I know that's in Manage. I'm not sure if that's in Grow at this point.
It is, yeah.
Great.
It was literally just released like less than a month ago. So when you hit the quick intake button at the very bottom, there will be a button that says run a conflict check and save.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it tracks against all the
For
contacts.
ours, we list out the name of the client and the name of the conflict. And we've got language that I would put in there saying, normally it's like, we're an estate planning firm. So we normally see something to where a mother comes in, does her estate plan, and then she refers her child over to do her estate plan because, she's a new mother with kids and needs something in place. So we would have language saying that they understand that the firm is representing both clients individually, not as a joint set, and that they waive any conflict pertaining to this. Then there would be a signature by the clients only. And we would also create a duplicate for the conflict to also sign. That would go into
Okay.
each file, and then we just move on from there.
Got it. Okay. And the conflicting contacts, do you send these for them to sign as well, correct? Or
Yes, because we are creating the two
Yeah.
conflict letters.
one for your primary?
One for the
and then
one for the client,
Yeah.
one for the conflict.
Got it.
So they're each going to have one that looks identical to the other.
Right.
Just the names are going to be swaps as far as the positioning goes.
Yeah.
And then only that client is going to sign their conflict letter. They don't see whether or not the person is signed.
Yep. So in my mind, you can, but the way that you would need to save the conflict name is by saving them as a contact in Clio. Because then when it comes to the sending of that particular document, you can then select who's going to sign that document based on the contacts that have been saved under that matter. So if you have your primary contact, who's your client, as the primary contact, you can add an additional contact of the conflict. You would just need to either update the status as the contact status as conflict, or include a tag on there that just says conflict.
And I assume that could be done through automated workflows, right?
Adding the or sending
The status.
changing the status. Yes, yeah. Even sending it as well. So it's like somebody signs, your initial client signs the document, you get that back, and then it automatically sends the other document to the conflict.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we got time for a couple more. Yeah, we got one at the front here.
Hey there, thank you so much for all of this. I have two questions. The first one is about visibility in the Clio Grow pipeline. The way that my firm functions is that we have sales and intake specialists that review the pipeline for their respective clients on a weekly basis. But from a management perspective, it's really difficult to see, did they take all of the steps that are required in our company SOP? Because there aren't really timestamps associated with each of the steps that get taken within the matter.
Right.
And not at a glance. If you click into each individual matter, you can see it, but you can't see it
Yeah.
like in a report or elsewhere, or at least that I'm not
Yeah,
aware of.
not in a report.
Okay.
However, if you want to look at your own pipeline, actually, if you have it, there is the quick view option just at the very bottom of the checklet or the square in the pipeline. Yeah. So on the left side, go to pipeline.
Okay, pipeline. Yes,
Yep.
I'm there.
And then select any matter and select the quick view under
yeah.
that.
Oh, yes.
And if you scroll down to the very bottom of that quick view page, you should see a timeline of events of when a form was sent or a document was sent and so on and so forth. So as long as something is sitting in the right appropriate status, then you should get a tracker of what's been done.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes and no. So I think the second part is really also tracking the time, because we like to understand exactly what is the life cycle of a client. How long does it take for them to reach out to us and then eventually convert to a client? And we don't have visibility into that. The data is available on the back end, which we've contacted Clio for that and been able to finagle our own back end dashboard to understand that information. And then I guess the secondary thing, have you considered a pipeline that is categorized by practice area or by other factors? Because right now, for firms that have multiple practice areas or multiple case types within their practice area, having all of those people come into one single pipeline, you either have to make the pipeline 1,000 lines long or figure out some other way to classify them all together. And it'd be nice to just do a drop down, kind of like grow, manage, accounting, where you could just flip over to the practice area that the respective pipeline pertains to.
Nothing yet, but no, I love that because I've been harping on our production team to do something similar to Clio manages pipeline for that exact reason. You know, your intake process is completely different from one practice area to another. The forms and docs that are being sent is completely different. So yes, we hear you. I love that you're bringing it up again, but yeah, just not at that time. Yeah. You can second that?
I'd like to tag on to it that for businesses with multiple locations, to be able to view it by location only would be so helpful to us.
Okay. Actually, I got to double check because there is a location field already, but from the pipeline itself, I'm not 100% sure if that's an option. Yeah.
I don't recall ever seeing it in the pipeline, but it's been a while since I used Grow.
Okay. Stop by the Success Center. Okay. We can work this out together and see if it's even possible.
All right. Well,
Yeah. So we'll slowly wrap up here, and we'll move on to some key takeaways today. So, one, Clio Grow enhances the intake experience for all. right? So this really does stay true to Clio's mission to transform the legal experience for everyone. Second, forms and docs are the best functions you can use in Clio Grow, and I stand by this. If you're going to use Clio Grow for anything, and I mean anything, it has to be forms and docs. And if you do need help getting these forms and docs created, come see us in the Level Up space on the second floor. Yeah. And then lastly, be creative. Really be creative in modifying your workflow. Try new things. And if you fail, hope that you fail fast, right? Change is inevitable. And as your business grows, I really encourage you to be creative with how you operate your business. Because either you make changes to grow or you remain status quo and get left behind. As I mentioned, if you have any questions after today, or you want to learn more about the stuff that I talked about today, visit us at the Success Center, book some time with us, and we can get you sorted. If you want to challenge me on anything that I presented today, come to our Success Center. I know the crew there. I'm confident in their ability to provide sound answers. And then, if you'd like to apply some of the things that I've talked about, like those automated forms and stuff, but maybe you don't have the time to do it, or what you've experienced in the past seems to be overwhelming, come to us and we can get you sorted with that. And then lastly, like a lot of the things you've suggested, go to our product lab, tell those people more, and we can submit more. We can upvote basically the recommendations that you've made with your account and name attached to it. Got to give a big shout outs to my content team, Amna, Zobair, and Anna. Real special shout outs to Jen Gibson for helping me create this presentation. Thank you again for our wonderful sponsors, and thank all of you for joining me in today's session. Again, my name is Dominic Impolito, and I hope you have a great rest of your ClioCon.